Oh boy. All right. Well, we ended the last stream day in an okay situation. We updated Bazite, we got the layering done, but we discovered a few things. The biggest being Fedora 40 excludes Xorg, and Fedora 41 won't even include it in the repos, meaning all Red Hat based things are basically getting rid of Xorg. And I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I still use Synergy to go between my stream PC and the PC you see here. And then we also have, so much other stuff. DWM I still love. And yeah, we're gonna have to restore to something today. Unpunished, how's it going? In it? Yeah, we gotta, it's gonna be a restoration day. We're gonna try a couple things with this stream. The first being, I think I have a time shift. I think I actually made a backup. That doesn't sound like me. And this is a super late stream. But I was like, I kind of want to restore my system and get it into a different working order. I don't like where we left off yesterday. Usually I don't even stream on today, but I was just like, I don't like where I left off. And I don't know where I'm going. I just know probably starting off, let's restore to Arch if we can. Can we? I have no clue. I think I set up a backup using Timeshift and my RAID. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You're installing Arch. All right, man. Taking the dive, taking the plunge. Arch Linux. Love it. Short stream. Maybe if everything goes spectacularly well. I doubt it though. If it's anything like, if it goes anything like yesterday's stream, we might be here for 8 hours. It's not out of the question of possibility. I don't know. So there's the Arch restoration if the backup exists. I'm not reinstalling everything though. I'm like, no, not doing it. The other option is Nix. I have a whole bunch of configuration already pre-done in Nix. So that would be a pretty easy, not necessarily a restore, but it'd be an easy reinstall. And that's what I like. So yeah, we're about to F around and find out. Yeah, so that's another option. So there's, hey, if there is a time shift backup, can we restore it? Even though we've literally wiped out the partition table, everything. This is like, it's BetterFS instead of ext4. I mean, we've wiped everything off this system. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that big of a restore using Timeshift. And I'm not sure Timeshift can do partitions or not. I think it can. But again, I don't know. NixOS would be my next option. And I know a lot of people are like, do you like NixOS or not? And as a sysadmin, it is an amazing distro because you can replicate everything really easily. So wherever I left off months ago on NixOS, my config file exists for that. And I can easily just go load, watch it install everything, and then we're right back to where we were 2 months ago whenever I jumped off NixOS. That's the beauty of NixOS. It's one of the best out there. It's one of the, that's why I love it. And then of course there's always Debian, and Debian's nice, but boring. That's the problem with Debian is I can get everything working just the way I want it and get everything kind of just set, but then I kind of get bored because you don't have like the new hotness to play around with Debian. You could do Debian SID and download some of the packages, but it's just not as eventful as maybe an Arch install or messing around Nix and those types of things. So that's kind of my thought process. It's those would be my 3 top choices after the Fedora adventure we've gone on with Bazite. And Bazite's been fun. I think I will use Bazite on my Steam Deck. I really loved exploring it, seeing all the options that were made here, and it gave me a lot of really good ideas. So I don't regret this adventure at all. I think this adventure has been extremely fruitful. Just learning gear lever, for app images was extremely good. But then we dived into DistroBox and learning more about that. And then RPMOS tree and learning about layering. That was also very fun. So yeah, very overall very cool. Oh crap. It also does this on the latest version of KDE. This new update from Bazite with KDE 6 just ruined it for me. It doesn't work. It just goes into standby now, and it's like, okay. So obviously, if this is my main system that I wanted to stay on, I would totally revert to Fedora 39. Fedora 39 was great. Fedora 40 with KDE 6 is just a freaking train wreck to end all train wrecks. We're not even 5 minutes in and I'm already screaming. So yeah, let's reboot. Let's just, what about this? Does this keyboard work? Maybe a different keyboard? No. Okay. Well, that's about what I thought. I am a habitual distro hopper. Jessica, I think we can totally agree with that. I've just embraced it. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just try out everything. What new stuff are they trying over here? Now that I kind of got to the point where I was just like, I really don't care what distro I'm on. You think that would make you settle down a little bit. And I guess if I was using this a lot for business, I probably would. But my business is finding new stuff. So a lot of times I'll look at like a new distro and I'll be like, what the hell are they doing that's even different than Debian? Or, you know, the big distros that everyone should use. So I'll pick it up and be like, okay, what are they doing? What packages are they installing? Oh, this is different. Okay. And then kind of exploring it. And that's kind of my thing now. It's just like, let's find something new. Anywho, let's see. Just a nomad wandering aimlessly through. Is DistroWatch still a thing? Do people still watch DistroWatch? And be like, oh, my distro is most popular. Catchy OS? I don't think I have. Using stock Windows without Glaze has made me appreciate Glaze even more. Jessica, I love Glaze is great. It's still going on my my PCI Passthrough, so sorry for the flashbang. Let's go here. Let's see. MX Linux is just top. DistroWatch must be run by MX Linux devs. that's the only rationale for that being on top. MX Linux. That's number one. Get out. That's hilarious. I remember using MX Linux like 10 years ago. That's cute. Yeah. I would probably say MX Linux devs run DistroWatch at this point. If it's on top still. Because it's not that popular. I mean, so MX Linux had its time and place. Back when Debian didn't package like firmware drivers and there was a lot of non-user friendliness to Debian, MX Linux found its place for that. But now that Debian's just as good as it and it has sane defaults and it's actually user-friendly now, it's kind of made, now it has made MX Linux obsolete. Like, MX Linux is a pointless distro. I've installed it. Maybe we need to reinstall it. Maybe we should install MX Linux on this one. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that was why we used MX Linux. Let's go here. We're going to go Ubuntu Live CD. That'll probably give us the best opportunity for this. Let's go safe graphics. I'm looking for the best opportunity for a restore here. I don't know anyone who would use, yeah, MX Linux. Yeah, nobody really does use it these days. It used to be popular though, and rightfully so. It is still probably a decent distro. It's just, why not just use vanilla Debian at this point? Oh, really? I didn't even know MX Linux. Okay, so maybe that's a use case if MX Linux doesn't use systemd. Yep, we're ditching Bazite already. The latest update to Fedora 40 was not a fruitful one. It was very aggravating. KDE 6, I just absolutely hate. I mean, I've just had so many bad experiences with KDE 6 now across 2 distros now that I cannot. I just want to get as far away from it as possible. I mean, we're getting to the point, guys. I'm about to use GNOME instead of KDE 6. That's pretty dire. That's like extremely dire. That's where I'm at. So not a great circumstances. Oh, what are we going with? We're going with Ubuntu, guys. I'm kidding. I'm just trolling y'all. Ubuntu does have a really good live CD though. Timeshift. Okay. Let's see if we can. I think the live partition. And I'm still using this keyboard that's offset, so all my keys, I'm going to be typing like a toddler. So we got that going today. Everyone comes back to GNOME. Not me, man. I really still despise GNOME. Like, you've seen me type all kinds of crap for, talk all kinds of crap about KDE 6, but, man, at least it's not GNOME. Can you remove programs from source and compile your own PS1? Yeah. Yeah, there's even a module that if you want to do, if you want to, like, change a PS1 to executable. There's a PowerShell script you can, it's not even a script, it's a module. I think it's called PS2EXE. And I believe that still works, so you can convert PowerShell scripts to executable. I don't necessarily use that method. The wrapper I use for the one I sell on cttstore.com, that one uses C#. So I coded a C#, grabbed all the libraries for PowerShell, and then it spawns a PowerShell script using that program. I did it that method mainly because I wanted to get the most compatibility with, like, bypassing antivirus and that type of thing. Where if you use like a simple PS2 EXE module wrapper, the EXE will be really small, but sadly it'll get flagged almost everywhere. All right, let's go sudo timeshift. Come on, we'll see if there's enough space on this live CD to install timeshift. Hey, that's it's already looking good. This is going to be a great stream. Probably. I think NVMe E0 in 1 is what we want. So let's... Ooh. How are we going to do it, though? Yeah, so this is supposed to be a restore. So I want to wipe out NVMe E0 in 1. But SDB is really what we want. Let's... Ooh. I think what we're going to try and do is grab our rated array, which I don't even know if this will work. Let's mount dev SDB to MNT. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. That was kind of stupid of me to use that for my backup. You gonna launch Firefox on me? Yeah, well, Ubuntu still got a slow Firefox launch. All right. What do we have? IWS RAID member. I think we could, let's Control-Shift-C that, and then Alt-Tab over. We might be able to get around that. Let's go Google. I'm gonna fat finger everything. All right. Whew. Yeah, gotta love the snaps. So wild. Yeah, I don't think for rated, I think we can do. Oh, okay. After this, so you can do MD, AMD, assemble, run, dev, and then we'll assemble MD126. I think that will be okay, actually. Let's try it out. Into dev SDB1. Or actually, I think what we can do is assemble MD. Or actually, I think we can just do SDBA and SDB B. Let's try that. So let's try SDB. I made this way harder than it really needs to be. Dev SDB. Okay. Not POSIX compatible. So instead of doing that, let's do yeah, I think we can just do an MD126. Let's try dev MD. Actually, let's try partition 1 and then like mapping it to SDA 1. I don't think that'll necessarily work, but we can try it. So if we do that, no, that's not going to work. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more. I've never used, or it's been a long time since I used ADMA. All right, so we have assemble options, manage device options, grow. Yeah. Let's check, actually, the easiest way is just check dev. And then you have MD as a directory you could go into, but it is MD126 for the device. And for S, yeah, you have SDA, SDB, SDC. Not really what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's try scan. We could try that. No harm in trying an assemble scan. All right, no arrays found in the config file or automatically. I didn't think that would work just because this is a live CD. This isn't an Ubuntu install HGH. We're just trying to, like an idiot, I took my Timeshift backups for when I had Arch on here, and I put it on my RAID array. Yeah, I know, not the brightest move. It was a hardware RAID array. You know, you don't see those much these days, and you probably shouldn't. But I still had the capability, so I was like, yeah, sure. I have these old 3 terabyte spinning bladders. I'll just do a hardware RAID array, and then I'll throw my backups on there because then it'll be synced up, and that'll be easy. Yeah, not the brightest move. What about this? Since honestly the RAID array itself I don't really care about, and it is a RAID 1, so frankly there's no like parity or like RAID 5 shenanigans going on. We could, and you might need to break the RAID before you can do this, but let's do this. Let's try a sudo mount dev, and I'm just going to try and pick out one of these partitions. MD126, one of these RAID partitions. And we're going to go P2 and just throw that in MNT. Yeah, that was the way to go. There's Timeshift. Okay. So if we go Timeshift, let's look at this. So now we have that. Let's look at the Timeshift. The restore will be interesting because we got to specify the device as well. Oh, that would be a cool command to have. TLDR, Chris Titus text stream. The problem is I don't even know what's going on with this stream. RAID is not a backup. It's fair. Well, I put my backups on the RAID though. Hey, the fact we even have a backup sitting on here is kind of impressive. I've just never done this type of restore of Timeshift. Let's try it though. Let's do a list. And is there a snapshot to restore? Target, specify target device. But we need the source of the snapshots. And I want to say specify the backup device. Okay. So you should be able to go list -- snapshot device. And I think we can just do mnt sudo. Okay. Yeah, so never mind. Maybe we weren't even supposed to mount this, but we'll try it anyways. So we'll give it the full device path, MD126, and it's going to be P2. Okay. So the last backup we have, last valid backup was the 16th. It was only 10 days ago. So I want to say this should be relatively simple. Famous last words. So we should be able to just do a restore snapshot. Bam. Grab this snapshot name like that. Then we specified the restored device, the target device, I believe. If we look, target. And for the target device, can we give it just a root device without any partition? That's where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's give it a whirl first. I would love it if it just grabbed the root device. I don't think this is going to work, though. If I was a betting man, I would imagine it would want me to emulate my old partition scheme because I don't think Timeshift really does. It'd be cool if it did, but E0 N1. Yeah. All right, we'll try sudo. Yeah, it's not gonna like that. Oh, crap. All right, let's try list devices. I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah. Oh, that is just so unfortunate. Yeah, so the Timeshift will not back up. I don't think, or at least I didn't set it up this way to back up the boot and the other partitions. So we're missing all of the boot. No, I don't want to do RAID. In business, I don't really do it much anymore these days. At least not hardware RAID. Software RAID I'm still cool with. It just, yeah, hardware RAID can be a little bit of a headache. All right. Here's my thought process. I don't want to give up on this yet. What if we go a different direction here and we make the partition table as it should be, then we write to it using Timeshift, since I screwed up and I don't have my boot. Then we hit like an Arch Live CD and then rebuild, chroot into it, rebuild the current Linux kernel into the boot, and then remake grub all on the fly. That way we have all our files. I think that would be okay. I think that's the restoration that really needs to happen. Should be easy. Easy. 5 hours later. All right, I think this works. I think this will be easy, guys. All right, let's do it. Let's just go gparted. Authenticate. All right, let's go to where our Bazite resides, which is, this is it, right? Oh, that is not it. That would be the other one. All right, so we have that. So here's our EFI partition, the FAT32 partition. Fine. I think we can just delete that. Delete that. Let's resize this guy. Yeah, 600's fine, right? How big is the Linux kernel now? Like, I'm trying to think of how many versions of the kernel I'd want to store in my boot. 600 should be sufficient. So instead of that, so we leave that. Let's go new. ext4. Ooh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do want to change this. Let's go. I want to do 100 gigs for the root. So we'll call this one root. Well, actually, we'll label it root. I don't like doing partition names. So we'll do primary root, right? And then the next one, we would do the remainder. Free space, nope, nope. And then call this one home. Okay. Following so far. And now I should be able to restore these two things. Because if we look at the listing, you can see we have, I think, oh crap, did I not? I might not have backed that up. Go sudo, or actually we can just go Timeshift. Now let's do list devices. We'll go ahead and wipe out the existing one. Did I close that? Where's Alt Tab? Yeah. All right, let's apply this. Yeah, it's gonna wipe out everything. Do as I say. Come on, let's get it going. Yeah, I have some data on these disks. Well, I guess I should say I had data on this disk. All right, let's go. So now we got Timeshift. Now let's list our devices. We should see a little bit different story. A little bit better, right? Now we have the root in the home. And I want to say we can do a Timeshift restore. I just don't know if it grabbed that. Could I go like a target directory with Timeshift would be even better. So you got target. But what I want to see, let's just umount, or actually, let's just go to M&T. All right, there's Timeshift. Here's the main live CD. Let's make a new directory, call it Arch, right? In this Arch directory, here, I'm gonna increase it a little bit too. Can we, what's the hotkey in GNOME terminal to increase font? Does it not have one? There it goes. Okay, yeah, let's make it a little bit prettier. So when I screw something up, you can point and laugh at me and know the command I used. That's the best part of this. LSB, okay. We're gonna mount these devices as such. The first mount point comes to dev NVMe 01 N1 P2. This is going to go into Arch. Then we're going to mount dev NVMe E01 N1 P1. And that's going to be Arch boot, which is not there. So what we need to do is make directory Arch boot and Arch home. Now we rerun that command and we go mount dev NVMe 0 N1 P3. This is the main, the meat and potatoes where all my home stuff's stored. So now we do another LSB OK. You can see the structure. So we have our boot, which if you look over here, you got boot, then Arch, which is basically root. So if you remove /Arch, this will be just the root of the device. And then what I'm thinking for the Timeshift restoration, we go Timeshift, we should be able to go Timeshift Restore, which Timeshift list, what was it? Timeshift, oh, Timeshift -- list. All right, perfect. No snapshots found. All right, that's fine. It's fine. List, snapshot, device. I think can we just do snapshot and then just go M&T? Nah, you got to do a device selection. Okay, whatever. Lame. Remind me to switch from snapshots in Timeshift over to back in time. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, this is just Ubuntu shenanigans. I will say the live CD from Ubuntu, it's not that bad. I know, blasphemy, but when you're desperate, it's okay. All right. Now, I think the device we were looking for was the MD. God bless, I can't even remember what it was. I think it was MDP2 right here. Yeah. Did it twice. Yes. There we go. So now for the restoration, it should be something like Timeshift Restore snapshot. And then we grab the latest one, which would be this 416 right here. Specify the target. This is where it gets a little tricky because we can take the snapshot device and then we can also specify the target. And I want to say we could leave out target - device. It says specify target device, but maybe I wonder if we could give an option on the restore. Let's see what that does. Okay, so we have the snapshot device restore. To restore with default options, press enter at all pumps. All right, enter. Reinstall, yes. Okay. Select the grub device. The grub device will be not listed. It's not listed. Come on. Where is it at? It should be NVMe 0N1P1. Maybe we can get away with just using the root of the device like that. I don't like it. Yeah. Doesn't seem right to me. But let's keep going. Data will be modified on the following devices. Very helpful. Software comes with no warranty. Yeah. I don't like that. One second. Let's rerun. I got another idea. What if we say no to this? Data will be modified on the following device. No. We have to specify the target devices. Can we specify more than one? That's the thing. Since everything's so messed up, makes this a little more difficult. I think target dash device is what we do. The thing is, I want to do Timeshift Restore to 3 partitions. What does that do? Okay. Each partition have its own unique UUID. Grub is probably unable to boot, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think we're hosed. We use a Timeshift for this. Did not think that went through. Clonezilla for the win on this type of setup for actual legit backup. Huh. Can we restore to a different partition table since we wiped out the old one? What's Reddit tell me? Please tell me you're back in. All right, let's try to do target device and see if we can't specify. We're just gonna go target and we'll try M&T. I bet it rejects it. Could not find device. Yes, that makes sense to me. So we'll try and do the root first. I'm not worried about boot because we could always regen that. Let's just grab that for the target device. Let's hit enter. We're going to say no for reinstalling. Data will be followed. Ugh. We could try the Arch, but I think it wants an actual physical device. We could try Arch. I think I messed that up. I think it should have been target Arch. I still don't think that's going to work because it wants a physical device. One of the limitations of Timeshift, I'd say. Timeshift's great, but when you wipe out your entire partition table, not so good. So we're going to manually do this. Let's try to do it. I don't think this will work though. Yeah. Because it's not specifying the mount because all the UUIDs are different. Well, when we did it, if you do like N1 or P3, that's the home folder. I think it would still give us net the same result. Like this would be the home result. So right here, what you should see is the device, because what Timeshift does, and this is actually pretty smart from a restoration standpoint, because Timeshift's really meant to restore like corrupted, a bad install or something like that. But since if your partition table gets wiped out, Timeshift's not the best because it can't match up the UUIDs anymore because they've all changed. So if it matches up the UUID, it'll go, okay, this device goes to this mount point, and then it restores all the data correctly. But we don't have that. Yeah, we've already mounted it manually. So that's the other thing. What if, let's go look at the Timeshift. How is the structure in Timeshift done? What is here? Let's go snapshots. Let's drill down directly in the snapshots. Maybe it's at a very basic level. We just do it manually. So you have localhost info. All right, localhost. So now you have the basic structure. And if we look at home, wait a second. I like this. I'm liking this. Okay. Screw using a prompt. We'll just do it manually. Is our boot there too? Oh, that'd be sweet. All right, we're good, guys. We're good. Check this out. Let's do an rsync AV, or here, you could do a help of rsync. And I usually do AVP, and you have your source and then destination. So we're gonna do, I think it should do it recursively. So here is what we have on this current Timeshift snapshot. We're gonna do a rsync AVP. I think P is capitalized. Yeah, you can't really see. Sorry. And then we're gonna go. This folder is the source, and then Arch would be where we're putting it. Yeah. Easy. Well, you don't really want to do a copy. At least I don't like copy. Now, I've done this when I had to move. It's been quite some time now, probably over 10 years. But when I was doing a lot of P2V or physical to virtual, there was a lot of this type of stuff where you had to grab all the different files and then also the properties associated with the files and system files from a live environment like this, and then push it to a VM. So then you didn't have to rebuild everything. The tricky part was like getting like virtual drivers and things like that and actually having it boot. Your experience don't speak for everybody. What do we got here? We got a sysadmin, he says. Works for Keva Logistics. What would you have done differently? How would you have or you gotta explain what's not true. Are you a bad sysadmin? I don't know. Maybe. At the end of the day, it's the end result that matters the most. Oh, someone says that Windows is better. For backups? Ooh. Yeah, that's a hot take. Yeah, for backups, my favorite backup, RAID, of course. No, I'm sorry, I'm trolling you guys now. For backups, what is my favorite backup solution? I don't think I've had an Oracle appliance ever fail on me. Oracle ZFS, like SANs, are super duper sturdy. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience with one of those. But that's not really a backup per se. That's just like where all the files were stored. I'm trying to think. I've used a lot of backup stuff over the years. You know, starting in the early days, a lot of like Symantec active backups were pretty common, and those were okay. Even in the 90s, you had like Norton Ghost. I think I was using... Geez, I'm trying to think of the last one. Veeam probably today, right? Veeam probably has the most out of everything that I can think of. It has a huge market share of the backup, and Veeam is very good. And it's actually pretty inexpensive in regards to enterprise licensing and things of that nature. Calling RAID backups like calling capacitor a UPS. Fair point. In Windows, you don't need back. Okay, you're just trolling at this point. Yeah, you don't need backups in Windows. Come on. Get out of here. Veeam is losing market share because of VMware dump from customer licensing. I think Proxmox will be Veeam's next hypervisor to support. Oh, that's good to hear, though. I've always had good experiences with Veeam. Yeah, I wouldn't take that one. It's like the guy that uses software RAID in Windows. You want to see Windows incompetence? Do a software RAID in Windows. And then compare it to anything else. Any other software RAID out there. It is so hilarious. If you ever run a software RAID in Windows, just as a goof, like just spin up like some old hardware, throw 2 hard drives in it and do a software RAID. I guarantee you, sometime in that next couple months, it will break. And like, whenever it rebuilds the RAID, it is hysterically slow. And then it'll just break again. It's like once the software RAID starts breaking, it just will continually break. And Microsoft still ships that functionality in Windows. It's wild. Oh man, I remember Acronis True Image. That was solid. I had pretty good restores from Acronis True Image. I don't think I had one fail on me. It was actually Acronis, I think, had one of the first block-based backups, and I really did it. Dug that. Now I have done like the Windows backup ones. That one's pretty dicey. I've been, that's like a little bit of a crapshoot. That's like going to Vegas, whether or not that restores properly or not. A lot of times, because you have to like dedicate a drive to like the Windows backup stuff. Just don't ever you rely on Windows backup. That's just a terrible idea. Yeah, hardware RAID's dead. Software RAID is king as long as you're using like any Unix-based system, whether it's ZFS or you want to go with like BetterFS or even logical volumes. There's so many good ways to do it. What I was saying was like software RAID in Windows is so bad. It's so bad, it's comically bad. I think I even did a Windows video on it. It was hilarious because of how quickly it breaks. Oh, when you said Norton Ghost, I right away remembered CompUSA. Oh, I remember CompUSA. I remember grabbing like a 56K modem and then like trying all the connection strings, trying to ink out every bit of performance I could so it wouldn't connect at 26K or 32K. I think, you know, you could tweak it a little bit and get into like the 40s and even in the low 50s, you know, like the perfect day. That was some good times, man. Macrom Reflect, a lot of people today, I think in the residential space for backup, recommend Macrom Reflect. You don't see it too much on YouTube because they don't have like an affiliate program. They don't pay YouTubers to shill it, but it's a good software. I would recommend Macrom Reflect. The times I've used it's been good, but I really don't use that stuff much these days. There's not many times I'm actually backing up a Windows system where I don't have like snapshots or images of the system itself from like a different level. Oh, zip files, man. Yeah. Oh, the good old days. Looking back, I mean, it's definitely rose-colored glasses. Like, there's so much that just works today that just didn't back then. But there was definitely more of a era of discovery. That's what I love about like Linux, because I'll jump between Windows and Linux all the time. What would be your choice for a home NAS? If you want to build it yourself and kind of tinker, obviously like a true NAS solution would be pretty good. If you just want something off the shelf, Synology. I've rolled Synology a bunch, and they've been really solid for me. But it just depends on what you want to do. Like the cool thing about TrueNAS, they have a couple different offerings. Like if you want a Linux-based TrueNAS and like use a bunch of Docker containers, you could do TrueNAS Scale and get like that Linux base. And I think that even still runs ZFS, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't used TrueNAS Scale very much, but if you want a free BSD one and you're not really doing that, you could do, if you just want straight up storage, I recommend just regular TrueNAS using FreeBSD because it's really good. I just don't particularly like the jails. When you get into TrueNAS jails and FreeBSD jails, it's not as good as, you know, your Docker, you know, Kubernetes, those types of, even using Podman and those other containerized things in Linux are just, it feels a lot more mature to me at least. What do you say about artifacts when NVIDIA private? Oh, yeah. Well, NVIDIA, if you're looking for that and you're a Linux user, try on Wayland. Just wait 6 months to a year. I hate to say just wait, but it will get a lot better for you NVIDIA users out there, because the cool thing that's happening right now that nobody's really talking about is with NVIDIA, the NVK open source drivers are really starting to come to fruition. You can see them, I think, on the bleeding edge of Arch. I think this past week they just launched, and you're going to see those enter into the space where, you know, Novu and all that's going to pretty much disappear. It's just going to be the NVK open source, and that's going to be a game changer for a lot of NVIDIA people out there. As long as you're using 2000 series plus, so 2000, 3000, 4000 series cards can utilize the NVK, and that's pretty awesome. And I think that one of the lead devs from Novu is now working at NVIDIA. Don't quote me on that, but something like that. And I think it's going to be, you know, as much as I like to crap on NVIDIA in Linux because it's usually a bad time, that's going to be pretty awesome. I would love to see that become more mature, because I don't mind using, whether it's AMD or NVIDIA, I don't really care. I just like to use where they're at. Yeah, the progress on NVK, explicit sync, and Mesa have been really good. It's going to be good. I don't know about that. Wayland kills user free. Supercell, I think I'm going to have to ban that guy. Is he just trolling everybody? Let me know, YouTube chat. Does he need to be banned? Because I think that's the guy that says Windows backups are better. Okay, we're going to ban him. I'm sorry. Get it out of your system now. You got to get banned. I don't want you trolling everybody. The occasional troll is fine. I'm guilty of it. But come on. Oh, it's too funny. All right. Give him a chance. I'll give him a chance. You're warned. You've been warned. All right. I hope older NVIDIA cards get some better support. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think a lot of them aren't going to be. I think you're going to have to pretty much just upgrade your card or get another secondhand one. Right now, so if you guys are unfamiliar, what we did was we kind of recreated the partition scheme in Arch that we had from a Timeshift backup, and the Timeshift backup looked pretty complete, but it couldn't restore it because all the UUIDs on it are changed. So what we're going to do is restore all the files, which are like games, everything. This might take a little bit, but once most of that is restored, what we can do is look at the new UIDs, and then we just match them up with FS tab, and the restoration should be complete. So if you look on here, we should have like the home folder like that. See this UUID, we're gonna have to look at that. And then for root, this UUID, we need to make sure that's there. I think this partition hasn't changed, but we gotta check that for the boot. So then when we're doing like ls arch, like etc, it looks like it's already there. So we could probably actually just change this really fast. Yeah, let's do it so you guys can see. So we've already restored a lot of the system, but if we look, the one other problem we might have with this is the, hey, does it grab the actual like links and those types of things are the big thing. Does it screw up our sim links? That's the other thing. Somebody mentioned, why don't you just use the copy command? And I ended up using AVP rsync because I wanted to grab a lot of the sim links. We'll see how well that does. I have my doubts. But if we look on here, this is all root, which is fine. But then if we do AL and we look at arch home Titus, you can see the user right now is tied to user group UID 1000, which is Ubuntu because this is a live CD. That should go ahead, hopefully, and reassociate to Titus. And then this user group should be users in Arch. So I don't think this is going to be problematic. Maybe. We'll see. We might have some permissions issues that we'll have to kind of clear up too. Oh man. Yeah, I think I still have a whole bunch of... Do they even make small business server anymore? I thought it was just essentials now. One of my first certs was 2003 small business server. All right. Well, this is looking okay. Let's vim into etc fs tab. Arch etc fs tab. We don't have vim. Hopefully I don't overload this old live CD. I think we're getting close to our limits, but just keep pushing. All right. So this is what it's using in trying to map, which I know is going to fail. So what we're going to try and do is retrieve, and we're going to do a cat of, actually, let's go sudo blkid. So this grabs all these guys, and we only really need these top ones, right? So let's get rid of that. We obviously don't need the loop back. And then we look at our home folder. So we have the home folder. We're just going to grab it. Easy. Right now we're on root. Let's just go visual to question, yank it. And we're going to just go up to, what was that, root. And we'll just append it over here. Paste. So we have that. And then we got to fix our home as well. F-stab. Good old F-stab. I remember when I started making YouTube videos, everybody got mad when I was calling it F-stab. I corrected it to FS-tab for most part, but I still like calling it F-stab. It sounds cooler. I know. I'm unbearable. Let's get rid of that. Put it in there. And then finally, we are going to reassociate our boot. Now that's VFAT. It's like I said, there's going to be some permissions I'm kind of concerned about, but let's yank it. And finally, fix this UUID. All right, here we go. Oops. So now we have all the UUIDs matching. So this is what Timeshift just couldn't correct because the whole partition table has changed. For the most part, this should reflect everything we see. ext4, VFAT, ext4, ext4. So in theory, this should be pretty good. With that done, this is kind of how I restore a system if I'm having to do it manually. So that's kind of what it was. Yeah, I think that'll be good. It could have changed Timeshift to work. Agreed. All right. Oh, forgot to write. Can we just write? Did that write out? Oh, dang it. What's the command to write? I usually do like a plugin for Vim called sudo that takes care of when I forget to sudo into my file. And I don't think you can, because I launched Vim as a user, not a super user. I know, dummy me. Yeah. There we go. That was it. Thank you, Slack. I was like, I can't remember the command, but I'll know it if someone types it in chat. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Enter. So now if we come back into FS tab, yeah, we're good. I was like, oh, please. I don't want to do all that again. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we've cleared and fixed FS tab. We're still copying stuff over. We got like Final Fantasy 14, some other games probably still transferring over from the RAID. We also need to read grub because grub's going to not be there as well. I think for redoing grub, we're going to need to arch chroot from live media to fix. Although we might be able to do it just right here in Ubuntu. I've never really crossed Ubuntu and Arch. I've never used Ubuntu to fix an Arch install. I've used Arch to fix Ubuntu. Never vice versa, though. What makes NFS better than SMB storage? I would say the thing I like about NFS more than SMB is it's a bit more universal. So it's more program or like OS agnostic. Like SMB works like utter trash on like Mac, for instance. The other thing, SMB's headers are a lot bigger than NFS. So when you're transferring huge amounts of data and you're going over NFS, it's going to be a more consistent transfer, and it's probably going to be a little bit higher than SMB in most instances. So that's why I prefer NFS. The other thing is I like the fact that if you're on my network, I can just connect up to that NFS share without going through the whole authentication, because there's very little authentication going into NFS, for better or worse. That's why you typically only see NFS in SANs, like storage area networks. They're all over the place, or, you know, iSCSI too, but I digress. But that's why I prefer NFS. It's just I can attach, I can get anything, and I can transfer relatively fast pretty much anywhere. Where SMB is just a bit slower, a little more inconsistent, and it's much more inconsistent if you have, you know, Mac. I would say Mac just really hates SMB. Don't do that. Grub does shim signed. Ooh. When you update on Arch. Just ch root in boot. Okay. But I think we can do a ch root in Ubuntu. I think it's a little bit more involved when ch rooting in Ubuntu because I think you still need to map. Oh, wasn't it? It does a little bit less than Arch ch root. Because I think you still got to map the proc or... Ah, hell, I can't remember the folders. There's a little bit more going on there from memory. It's just kind of... It's one of those things you like have to see it before you can recall it. Old Robocopy. Yeah, when they added threading to Robocopy, that was pretty clutch. Yeah, you can use NFS on Windows. If you use my Windows utility, I have a whole script to fix it. NFS in Windows kinda... The setup process kind of sucks because you have to make some registry edits because by default how NFS is set in Windows is incorrect in typical Microsoft fashion. So what I did is when you click my install NFS, it grabs the features, the Windows features, installs NFS so you could use it, but then it changes, it adds I think 2 registry entries if memory serves me correctly. And then it maps that to more of an anonymous user because NFS doesn't really do permissions. There are some permissions, but most of it's handled server side, not client side. And Windows isn't used to that, so it needs a little bit more finessing. So that's what that does. I added that script and kind of takes care of all the prerequisites. So anytime I have a fresh Windows instance and I want to connect up my NFS drives, I usually just do that. And then for mapping the drives, I still am a bit old school and like to use just a straight net use. And that's kind of my jam. Yeah, you can do auto login. There's a couple ways to do auto login in Windows, Savage. You could easily do the registry entries yourself, but there's actually a sysinternals tool called auto login. Again, on the toolbox, I added it in the config section, I want to say. If you click auto login, it should grab the sysinternals auto login and then launch it. And then you just type in your username and password, and then it adds that to the registry for you. And then it'll just auto log in every time. You can even use a Microsoft login and auto log into it if you want. I mean, I don't know if I recommend that, but you do you. You know, that's the thing. I'm like, hey, it's not the most secure thing, but I mean, it's in the name. Auto login's not secure. It never has been, never will be. So, I mean, most people know what they're getting into with auto login. Oh, it won't let you set auto login. Well, maybe sysinternals doesn't work for that portion of it, but you should still be able to manually add the registry entries to do the login. You can force Windows to log in pretty much anything. Fresh installed Windows today and realized WinUtil no longer actually debloats anymore. It should. Well, I mean, I took out the mass removal of the Windows applications because it was deleting like people's games and stuff. So that portion I kind of stopped doing because I just got so many issues from it. I probably will add some kind of manual one with like maybe a prompt or something that people could click through and things of that nature. Man, I didn't remember Helldivers 2 being very big. I want to say it was only 70 gigs, but yeah. Yeah, definitely. YouTube's live streaming, I've been doing it, kind of testing it out these last week or two. I think a lot of YouTube, I'm on the fence. I've had a couple things happen with YouTube live streams where I'm kind of like, I don't know if it's actually worth it. I might actually just post the VODs on YouTube just because I've had content claims like from music. I've had a lot more on the chat moderations needed. Believe it or not, Twitch chat's a lot more well behaved than YouTube chat. It could be, I don't know why that is. And then 3, it just, it's cool to have more people in chat, but at the same time it kind of sucks. I almost like having less people in chat. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that. Yeah, that's one thing. I'm like, I hate to limit it down to Twitch for live streams, but I don't see the appeal to the multi-streaming. I don't see the benefit either. Yeah, we've had a couple expansals to it, and YouTube definitely more wild. We're not in Hinge lives. Yeah. I mean, but I don't mind, like, all these things, like what I've been doing for YouTube, like the Titus Tech Talk channel where I stream on YouTube. What I've always done is taken the Twitch streams and then I feed them through something called Recut, and it's an AI tool that basically, I mean, I hate saying AI tool, it's whatever. It's a tool that removes all the silence from the stream. So anytime I pause, the entire Recut takes out those pauses, or a lot of them, to where it shortens the stream up, and then when you rewatch the stream, it's a lot easier. So all of Titus Tech Talk has turned into just recut streams, which is kind of cool. So that's where Titus Tech Talk kind of comes in. I used to do clips and stuff over there, but I kind of stopped doing the clips because I was like, if it's that good, I'll just make a main channel video and then just redo it and not have just a 5-minute blurb of me tripping over my words. How hard would it be to build a version of your app ISO based on tweaks and software you select? You could do it. Yeah, I mean, you could just grab the source and then just grab I mean, hell, you don't even need to do that. It'd probably be easier just building it from scratch and just, well, actually, no, you could just grab the JSON file and then rebuild it yourself on a fork. That'd probably be the easiest way. Just fork it and then change all the JSON tweaks and applications to what you like, and then it would only show the stuff that you want. That'd probably be the best, I would say. Is MicroWin broken on the newest ISO of Windows 11? I haven't tried it yet on the newest ISO. I think we need to take a look at that. Well, I got something kind of wild happening on this side that will definitely blur the lines of reality coming up on the channel, where I figured out virtual production a little bit and I'm playing with that. It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. Thanks for the sub there, Anna. Oh yeah, the gaming vids, man. I've thought about it, and I think I might. I've kind of tinkered around this last month with the regular main channel just to see what all you can get away with on as far as making videos too. I've been doing a video every 2 days, and that's too much. Like, YouTube actually punishes you if you make too many videos. I mean, in most of those videos were pretty high quality. I loved every video I made. I was like, I like each one. There's nothing I would have changed from those videos. And I think if I would have spaced them out, I would have been able to get way more views, and YouTube would have liked it a lot better. It's just nature of the beast. But I wanted to try it again because at one time, YouTube was just like recommending, if you produced every single day, you could just sit there and go kind of parabolic on the rise of viewership. But these days it's a little bit more nuanced. It seems like it should be, I'm thinking like 2 videos a week would probably be best. So I think this next month I'm going to do 2 videos a week on the main channel, and then 2 streams at least over here on Titus Tech Talk on YouTube, and obviously Twitch too. And then I don't know, on the gaming channel, maybe do some kind of gaming. That would be fun. I gotta have something in the gaming side that I can just walk away from, though. Enabling an MSI mode for either AMD or NVIDIA. Maybe. I mean, there's NV Clean Install. or clean install, and then there's I forget the AMD counterpart. I looked it up the other day. There's ways to do the drivers better from a video standpoint, because I don't necessarily like the baked tools from NVIDIA or AMD. What happened? Switch to Ubuntu? Not April 1st. We're just using live media in Ubuntu to do a restoration. Is there a Linux alternative to file converter tool? Probably. I'm trying to think. Most of it I've done through bash scripting. I don't know of a tool I don't know if there's an actual tool I recommended that's real polished on Linux that does the same thing as file converter. I've done a lot of bash scripts that convert files and do things in Linux. But yeah. Yeah, FFmpeg for video. ImageMagick kind of takes care of all the images. You can do a lot of different stuff. Yeah, the gaming channel I think is Chris is gaming, but I was on like an Age of Empires 4 kick there for a little bit, but then like I got addicted to it, and then I stopped making content on my main channel, and a lot of my other content suffered because I was playing too much Age of Empires 4. So I was like, damn it. Okay, I need a good game, something I can play a lot, but not get too addicted to that I can walk away from. Yeah, that's a tricky thing. Gaming takes up so much time. Gaming's not that hard, actually. Well, it depends. You can find your niche. I think variety gaming's the hardest thing, though. That's something I don't know how very many people do it. That's a rough one. Valorant. Yeah, nobody wants to see me try and do a first-person shooter these days. I definitely don't have the time for that. Yeah, Space Cadet Pinball. There we go. Yeah, I think actually somebody made an adaptation of that. How did you like Elden Ring style games was fun. I loved Elden Ring. That was so much fun. I think I will play Elden Ring. I don't know if I'll stream it. I mean, I think honestly for the gaming aspect, because it's so different, the audiences, if you actually like want to do it from like a business perspective, you'd have to separate it out from the tech audience, because most of the tech people, there's some crossover, but very little. I think on the gaming side of things, I'd almost create like an entire new account, because the thing is, if let's say I'm playing Elden Ring and I'm streaming it, how many people are going to pop in chat and ask me about Windows utility or a technical issue? Literally 99% of the people that find me that way would. So you almost have to, like, if I wanted to do a gaming, I almost need to create like a whole new account, a whole new YouTube account, a whole new Twitch account, and then I'd have to not tell anybody about it. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but by not telling everybody about it, you'd first find something, and then you'd make 5 to 10 minute videos that are specific and unique that nobody else has really done in that genre of gaming, and then refer people back to Twitch, and then you have that cycle set up and build it all independent of technology. That's the only way I could see to do it properly. Go full VTuber mode. That's true. VTubers are all over Twitch now, which is kind of wild, seeing that the rise of that. Is it worth still learning software development, especially with AI potentially doing most of the programming? Yeah, dude, you need to still learn software. AI is just a tool you can use to learn faster. That's all AI is doing. The idea that AI is going to take your job. I mean, yeah, if your job was handing out tickets or taking people's orders, or you can think of a lot of lower skilled jobs that are AI is just going to take because AI can do that. Programming is not one of those. It just isn't. Like, anytime I've used AI, it's gotten so many things wrong. It's so crazy. That's just like, when it comes to it, AI is fantastic for learning new things. Like, what I love to do with AI, are you ready for this? This is the best thing to do with AI that you could do, and you'll learn so fast. When it comes to software development, everyone's got it wrong. Let's say you want to be the most genius programmer and create something just incredible. You can do that, and AI can help you not build the program, but help you get the skills to build the program. And what I mean by that, let's say you take someone's code that is really gifted and they've made something amazing. You use AI to explain the code to you like you're 5, right? You'd be like, hey, I don't understand this function. I don't understand, why is this library getting called? Why are you doing it this way with this syntax? And it can explain a lot of really good code to people. And the great thing is that wonderful developer that made the code, the programmer that is skilled, that has the skills that you want, will never be able to sit next to you and say, well, let me explain this really basic thing to them, because if they have those skills, they'll probably get frustrated with you asking so many stupid questions. Where AI has the patience to just sit there and keep explaining to you over and over really rudimentary ideas and things to where you can learn them and learn them really fast. And then pretty soon you can grab other code and have that explained and documented. It's such a great way to learn. And then, like, let's say you want to write a function to do a one thing. Well, there's about 20 different ways to write that one function. And the beauty of having AI is you can say, write this function. Then you can check it, see if it works. And if it does, you're like, cool, learn that. Okay, now rewrite the function doing it a different way. And then it'll rewrite that function, run it, make sure it works. And then if it works, you're like, okay. And you can learn so much by learning all these different methods. So AI is only a tool to help you get the skills to make what you want. It won't do it for you. If you try to make it do it for you, you're just going to spend way more time debugging it and going, oh, crap. Damn it. Why did I let AI write 100 lines of the code? Now I'm sitting here debugging for 2 days trying to figure out where it did something just completely off the rails and hallucinated, because it always hallucinates. And that's not going to change. Sorry for that rant. So sorry to go off the rails about AI there, guys, but I think everyone has the wrong idea on AI. How hard is it running a YouTube channel with the niche type? Not hard. You can do it. The thing about YouTube, you know, when it comes to YouTube, guys, I think YouTube is more about learning the skills. Once you have the skills, you can just pick up and do anything. Like, you can just start a whole new channel and a whole new niche and kill it once you have the skills and understand how YouTube works. So, Kari, I'm moving back, man. I'm trying to restore my Timeshift files. I'm moving back to Arch, maybe. We're trying it. So the problem is I lost all my UUIDs and everything's different. So Timeshift is broken. So we're going to have to do a manual rsync to try and get everything back. So we'll see. Sorry if this is an annoying question. It's fine, dude. I'm not getting annoyed by any question. You can ask whatever. Watch your debloat Windows 11 install. I was just wondering, me having Windows 11, can you do a full system restore during the whole process? Just do English world. Well, yeah, you can switch to the region at any time to whatever you want. So I think shouldn't have an issue. As far as restoration, there's a lot of different ways to go that route. Oh, Fallout 4 is now on Steam. Man, HGH, I just modified my whole Steam Deck with mods, and I'm afraid my Fallout 4 is going to update next time I boot up my Steam Deck. Because my Fallout 4 has like 20 mods on my Steam Deck using Mod Manager. Well, actually, I stopped doing the clips, man. Yeah, mainly because a lot of times my takes on live stream are a little bit harsh, and they don't play well with YouTube audience, really. But I mean, you're more than welcome to take it and share it all you want. I don't do any content claims, and I'm not part of an MCN. I'm fully independent, so anybody that takes my stuff and reposts it places, I'm like, cool, have at it. You want to react to my stuff? Take it. It's all good. So I don't have any issue with you'll never have any issues with content claims. If you want to start a YouTube niche, do Chris's hot takes, and then you get all the AdSense revenue from taking my stuff. Actually, I don't even think I get the content claims because all these have music overplaying them, so the actual audio match wouldn't even work because I remix everything for YouTube. Well, so usually my takes on here, a lot of my clips are just knee-jerk hot takes. So it's just brain to mouth dump without much forethought to it. There's a lot that goes into making a YouTube video where you have to kind of think of the different stuff. That's what I like about live streams, though, is I can just do that. And if you're here to watch a 30 minutes or an hour of my stream or even longer, you stay for the whole thing, hell, I'm like, hey, usually you kind of got my vibe, the gist of what I do and talk about. So most people that stick around don't get offended by my nonsense. But I'm fully a GPL2 YouTuber. Yeah, you're more than welcome to take my clips. I've never claimed anybody, and I've never had a parent company or an entity that I've subscribed to. Some people actually use like multi-channel networks and other things, some YouTubers, to claim people that take their content and then repurpose it. And I don't. I just, whenever I get a notification that someone took my content and shared it somewhere else, I just archive it, which means I don't try to claim it or anything. How was your experience with DWM on NixOS? It was great, Fox. I loved NixOS. I actually thought about doing NixOS. In fact, we might still do NixOS tonight if this thing completely bombs out on me. So we'll see. Well, that's okay. Like the lore of me and just kind of doing this thing, I kind of like just hanging out, chatting. I would hate to have a stream where I already miss a lot of chat. If you guys haven't figured that out, that's something I do. I miss a lot, but I do like to still chat and get that back and forth. I love that. And if it got like super big, I would be afraid I couldn't read chat, and that would suck. This would be Arch that we're recovering, because Bazite had built in, because it's an atomic desktop. The cool thing about that was we could just roll back, and that's what we did. So the last stream, I uploaded that today, I think. That'll probably be live in about a day or two over on Titus Tech Talk. And that one was really cool because the rollback worked great. If I wanted to stay on Fedora 39, not update, and then just go along with my day, I totally could. And it was okay. And us fixing Fedora 40 was fine with the cache and everything, but I was like, I don't want to re-sign in, and I don't want to redo my hotkeys just to say, okay, I'm still on Bazite for another release. Because I know in release 41 coming up, I know I can't use Xorg, and that's a deal breaker for me. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, them removing Xorg completely from Fedora 41 in the future, I'm kind of like, I'm taking my ball and going home. I can't deal. I need my Xorg. I'm an old man and I don't want to do Wayland. That, and I like Synergy, and I like a lot of the other there's little nuances of things that I just like Xorg better for my use case, which I know is a unique use case. If you're gaming a bunch and those types of things, I still think Bazite's a fantastic distro, though. Don't get me wrong with that. I loved my time with Bazite, and frankly, I think the best thing I can do is probably load Bazite up on my Steam Deck. I think I will do that. But yeah, having Red Hat command upon the mighty mountain that there shall be no more Xorg in all Red Hat inspired distributions was enough for me. Like, deuces, I'm out. But that's it. Yeah, Input Leap has some kind of function, but I think you have to use GNOME to get Input Leap working properly with Wayland. So yeah, Input Leap's great. I look forward to its progress. Oh yeah, I'm still definitely keeping Bazite on the home theater PC as well. So the home theater PC has been cracking along. So that's been good. My wife's been loving that with a lot of her like Hi-Fi Rush and that type of thing. She loves playing that game, and she hasn't beat it or hadn't been playing it lately, but she'll fire that back up on the home theater PC using Bazite. Oh, they did it to mainly kick NVIDIA into high gear and fix their damn driver. Yeah, and I get that. I get that. I think really the big reason too, Hikari, I really have loved DWM. That's been a lot of fun. I know a lot of people. That's super duper niche, but I just absolutely adore it. It's been my favorite project. If I had to pick one window manager and stick with it for the rest of my life, I think it would probably be DWM. Yeah, and I get they don't want to maintain X11 anymore. I mean, this stuff has been around since the 70s and 80s, I think. Well, I forget when the initial thing was, but it was originally a Unix-based thing that got modified for Linux, because there's some like mainframe code still in it. I mean, it's kind of wild how old Xorg is. So I get why. But at the same time, it still works pretty good for me, and I still have some of my stuff that just works great. Yeah, DWL is still there. It's still very young, and I'm looking forward to see DWL progress more. Yeah, Zed. It's so minimal you can configure DWM too much and actually completely rewrite it. I think that's some truth right there. I actually had some really cool commits come in too. I had obviously I'm pretty sure this guy's like a pro C developer, and I've taken a couple of commits and I really wanted to try those out, which looked really cool. So that's why. Xorg was originally designed to display stuff on a printer. Yeah, the way we use it is not designed for that. I know, 100% Hikari. I would like to ask, I have a gaming PC and I want a dual boot, and I want a distro that just works. Use Bazite. If you want to game in Linux, use Bazite. Just grab Bazite NVIDIA. They have an NVIDIA one that just, you load it up, you don't have to worry about anything, it'll just work. That's the beauty thing about Bazite. The problem you run into a person like me is I like to tinker a lot. Like, more than playing games, I like doing this kind of thing. I mean, I could honestly probably redo all of this, and I didn't really need to reformat my system or any of this, or even do this restoration. I really don't care about these files. I think it'd be kind of fun. So maybe I'm a little bit mentally deranged, because I look at this and I'm like, ooh, a Friday night restoration. That sounds, it's like going back 10 years, except there's not like that butterflies in your stomach, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job if this doesn't work kind of feeling. So when you take out that, it kind of is fun. It's like its own game. So I get it. I mean, that's my thing. And a lot of times when I'm gaming, I like to just mess around with the game and see, oh, what can I mod? I find myself like going to in Bethesda games and I'm like, oh, these are all kinds of screwed up. This'll be fun. Let's see how many mods I can stick on this before it breaks. 5 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, there it goes. Did it corrupt my save? Yeah, probably. I thrive on chaos. That's true. Oh, it's so true. Well, I just am so much happier. I'm just happier doing that. That's the thing I look at. If I can't take something and break it and then like reassemble it and fix it, I don't know. These days, what my job is, I guess I'm just a glorified YouTuber. I still do have a day job where I'm an IT manager. But, I mean, hopefully my employer isn't watching this. I hired a guy that's like awesome. He frankly does everything I did. So if we put the math together, they could technically just say, hey, Titus, we don't need you here anymore. And I'd be like, hey, you're just now figuring that out, man. I have been milking the clock for like 2 years. So hopefully they don't watch my streams. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. But I only go in usually about 1 or 2 days a week. Although this next week they are moving their whole headquarters and office and everything. So I will help out more than a day. But, you know, I'm going to be basically a glorified mover. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. I still do have some questions. There's very few these days. I think the biggest thing that he would probably ask me about is Windows Server questions. Like, I think we're probably due for like upgrading like the Fismo roles or changing the, maybe upgrading the forest. I think it's on like, oh geez, I want to say like server 2016, I think is what it's on right now. So I think we're getting close to upgrading that. And maybe some obscure like DNS and DHCP issues with Active Directory. Those types of things. I genuinely regret asking. Yeah. Anyways, 15 hours later. And then that's when... Chris probably hates himself, a Linux user and an Elden Ring player. Well, you forgot YouTuber as well. Yeah, DNS. It's always DNS, man. It's always DNS. There's just so many ways to do DNS that, you know, some people, yeah, you see how it goes. But oh god, I should have cleared out my downloads folder. Proxmox I wiped out so I could loan Bazite and use it as a home theater PC. So not very well is how Proxmox is doing. Yeah. Were you a sysadmin when you worked with Windows Server years ago? Were you a head of IT? Fox, I was the IT director. It was probably the highest title I had. I had probably a team of 5 or 6 people under me, and I reported to the VP and also occasionally the CEO or the board, and that just depended on what was going on. Like we had a huge, like I had to submit like a huge CapEx for a whole bunch of different equipment because they got bought out or they got bought out by a VC firm, but they wanted to like fix up everything and then resell the business. And I was kind of brought in to help facilitate bringing their systems to a modern standard. And that was probably the highest role I had. Super stressful. Wouldn't recommend. Sucked, but made tons of money. What was your favorite computer ever? Ooh. I don't know. I've always been more of a software guy. So a good example of that is if you ever see like the 80s show MacGyver, where he just kind of like, you give him anything and he like finds a way to make it, cobble it together and make it work for the task at hand, like escaping some prison. Well, I'm like the MacGyver for that. You could give me any piece of hardware. I don't really care so much about the hardware or the speed or what its capabilities are. You just tell me what to do, and then I can make that work. So I'm like the software MacGyver for that stuff. You can give me tons of hardware stuff. I'm frankly not much of a hardware guy. There's never been a piece of hardware that I'm like, I have to get this. And yeah. Yeah. And also like, you know, whenever you manage people too, I think I probably forgot to mention this. Managing people sucks. Like a lot of people when like you're younger, you're like, I want to manage people. And then after you manage people for several years, you figure out real fast, people are stupid and they do really bad stuff. And it just sucks having to deal with that. So then you're like, crap, I don't want to deal with that. So as you get older, at least for me, I was like, I never want to manage people. I just want to get out of that. So like when I do YouTube and I got my day job and I got all this other stuff going on, like people are like, why don't you just hire like a team of people or hire an editor or hire someone to manage stuff? And I'm like, that sounds like work. That sounds like I would rather just do all of that myself. And then I don't have to worry about managing somebody. Adult babysitting just sucks. Is inevitably, they always do something stupid. It just is the nature of people. That's why I'm all over the place. I know I could probably do something better, hire people and make it bigger on YouTube or Twitch or branch out and make my own software company or some crap like that. But it requires hiring somebody. And I'm like, you lost me. I would rather go back to work doing anything but that. Why have a team when you can take on the rock, pushing it up the hill by yourself? Exactly. I actually enjoy pushing the giant boulder up the hill by myself. And then having that boulder just roll back on top of me when I do something stupid. And then I'm like, well, that's what I get. All right, well, let me get down at the bottom of the hill and start rolling this thing up again. I don't know. I like that journey. You sound like a tough person to manage. I don't know. I think it's hard. You'd have to ask my boss on that one. As a seasoned IT vet in the industry, what would your advice to me be? I recently got my first job as IT technician at a small factory where I'm basically the IT guy. And I'm responsible for everything from their website to their security to be their tech support. The pay is bonkers though, so the stress is worth it. Yeah, I think you stay with it. If it's worth it and you still like it and you're still learning, then I say go for it. As soon as you stop learning though, it's time to move on. When you start just kind of phoning it in and it's just the same thing day after day and you're just kind of making do and you're comfortable, that's when you got to worry. And I think that's when you need to either make a change. But if you're young and you're making lots of money, save what you can. That's the biggest thing I can say to anybody young that's making a lot of money in IT. Save what you can, and then when you get to be my age, 40, you can be like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. And then you can just do whatever you want. That's the beauty of it. As long as you didn't go buy a brand new car. My car's 10 years old. You didn't go buy a brand new house. My house I've been in over 10 years. You don't just go spend it on a bunch of stupid stuff. Save your money. And then if you have a bunch of money set aside that you hadn't spent and blown on stupid stuff, then you have the ability to just be like, I don't want to, I'm just going to sit on my ass and copy files all day on Twitch. Like me. So that's my thought process. Just save your money. That's the thing where people get lost, I think, in today's world, is they're always chasing that nicer car, that nicer phone, the nicer whatever it is. And if you could just not, and then just kind of make do with having an older computer, an older graphics card, whatever it is, and then just do what you love. I think that's the big thing. Having the time to do what you want to do is the biggest joy. And there's just so much. I wish I learned that younger. I wish I had more time, and I wish I learned, hey, instead of buying a new car, I would have done, save that money and squirreled it away. Because then once you have enough, it's much easier to say no to whatever you don't want to do. Yeah, and if you could pay off your house, I mean, there's so much. And I like I said, I still look back and I'm like, man, I should have done this way sooner. I should have done that. And I had a lot of mistakes along the way, so I'm not perfect by any means. But it was around 2016 when I think I figured it out. And then I was like, oh crap, I am miserable. I'm making a ton of money and I have no time to do anything. And I was like, oh no, this could go bad really, really fast. I need to save all this, grind it out for another couple years, and then plan my escape from this prison. And that's kind of what I did. I followed the Goblin Man too. Who's the Goblin Man? I think I missed that. My IT job is getting boring, as you said. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. If you have like a side hustle or something that interests you, so when you get you through your day, you can sit there and work on your side hustle. That's pretty cool. Oh, Thor. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I've caught a couple of Thor's clips. He seems like a really good dude. Yeah, I think the last thing I saw from Thor, which I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like I think he was paying his mods, like everybody that works for him that set up pirate software, he's giving them full benefits and, taking care of all his people. I was like, that's awesome. That is so cool. And most people don't realize from like a business standpoint, dude, healthcare is crazy expensive. Like for me and my family, I'll pay somewhere in the neighborhood of probably $30,000 a year. That's kind of nuts. So for Thor to say he's paying all the health insurance and everything for all his employees, that's wild. That's wild. You don't see that today. Yeah. Is there a replacement for Windows Fancy Zones? I don't like window managers. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, I did the video on Glaze WM, and if you don't like Fancy Zones, there was, what was it? I wanted to say Star Labs, but that's not it. Was it Stardock? I think it was Stardock was the company. They had something like Fancy Zones before Fancy Zones was a thing. I remember using that back in the day. It's been a minute. I don't even know if that's still around. Yeah, Stardock you might look into. Fences, that's what it was. Stardock, I think Stardock made it, and I think the software is Fences. I remember Fences. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, good to hear that it's still around. That's kind of cool. Like there's all this like old software that I used to use. I'm like, man, I remember using that back in the day. And then people are like, nah, just got an update the other day. I'm like, oh, Well, damn, I should probably pull that up and install it again. Name a Windows app you really want a port of. Oh. What would be a Windows app I want a port of? Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't use any Adobe products. To me, they're the devil. Adobe's the devil. I would never use them. Although Photoshop is still a market standard. But there's ways around using it. Or using it, but less reputable means. In Office, I don't do anymore. Anything in Office. I guess the games. I guess there's some games, but you don't even need to port those, really. They just need something. Minesweeper. There is Minesweeper in Linux, actually. Yeah, we're finished. How long was that? I think we still need to fix Grub, though. Do we need to do like a Grub install? I don't think we can do the Grub install without chroot. Can we chroot into just Arch? Oh, you can. Can we just do grub-install? And then just do... maybe. Oh, see, this was what I was talking about with chroot. You have to map like the sys folder and some of the dev folders as well. Yeah, mount sys proc dev. I think I can't remember how to do it. Let me just get chroot Ubuntu. All right, let's see here. What's the command? All right, yeah, sudo mount o bind that. I think there's a little bit more to it than that, though. Yeah, I don't think that's it. Yeah, we need to exit chroot first. But, here we go. I think we can just do, let's see, chroot jail, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? Chroot. Ah, here we go. Yeah, so it's this mount bind is what we're looking for. Can we copy that? Oh, no. All right, well, whatever. Sudo mount -- bind. And then you go proc. And then arc proc. Sudo mount -- bind. Sys arc sys. And then the other one was dev. Sudo mount -- bind dev to arc dev. Now chroot arch. So now we're good. Oh yeah, I'm always I'm already really sudo. Oh man. All right. Sweet. RPG, thanks for the resub, man. Oh, we broke lots of stuff. Right now I'm just trying to see if I can't pull back my Arch install from an old Timeshift backup. Sudo. Like that 80s song. All right. I think we can do that. I think we can just do a grub install. I don't think we need the target, actually. I think we can just do the EFI folder is in boot. EFI-directory. And Oh, let's see. What was that? Yeah. I think we need to do an equals on that. Yes. Yeah. I think we just do boot like so. And was there anything else with that? I think should pretty much give us what we need. Recheck, I guess. Yeah. Dash recheck. Now, yeah, EFI variables are not supported on this system. Really? Okay. What if we do a dev NVMe 0 in 1, E0 in 1? I think if we specify the device, it should work. No. Yeah, we might be need to do a apt install EFI boot MGR. Oh, yeah. Actually, since we've ch rooted in, the grub install, I don't think... Well, no. All right, let's remove the EFI directory, but I don't think that's... Huh. Yeah. Let's look at boot. We have EFI there. Yeah, this is the EFI ESP partition, and we've mounted it to boot. This might be Ubuntu trying to make grub for Arch, because we got to remember the grub version in Arch is probably a little more up to date than what's in Ubuntu's live media here. I guess it should pick it up automatically. I guess the big thing, the question I have, if we look into boot, like let's take a look at the... Let's just take a look at grub. Oh, that's a directory. Let's take a look at grub config. I think this will be all okay. Ah, no. We've that's a problem. Yeah, this will fail miserably, guys. We're calling you a... Ah, darn. Okay. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so the UUIDs, like this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. So it will not boot in this current state. We have to build it back. All right. And if we look at sys drivers, let's see if we got EFI in here. CD sys drivers, or maybe it's firmware actually. EFI. Well, it's all there, right? Yeah. EFI vars. But we don't have any EFI vars here. So maybe I booted Ubuntu legacy-wise? Yeah. That's okay. I think the easiest thing to do from here is just to do a reboot into Arch. Right? So let's exit this, umount all. And I think the best thing to do is just reboot. And then we'll go into Arch directly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the Arch ISO and reinstalling Grub directly, doing it through Ubuntu, I just don't trust. Like, I don't mind using Arch to reinstall Grub in like a Debian system, but using Ubuntu to install Grub in an Arch system is just not recommended. I'm sure it can be done, but again, I was like, or I honestly, I probably would have been, I would have felt better about probably just doing a find and replace of the UUIDs in Grub CFG. That would have been fine, but again, not ideal. I'd much rather have it auto-generated. So we have Arch Linux from March. That's when we installed it. Okay. Last month. And we're going to just do Arch UEFI. Oh, Arch UEFI. You know, when it comes to Gentoo, this would be a beast of a system because we got 32 full cores in this sucker. So we could do some crazy compiles. This would be a awesome Gentoo system. All right, here we go. Old Arch, firing it up. Drunk Gentoo stream. I never did follow through on that promise, did I? Although I don't think I really promised it per se. Alrighty. First order of business, the most important thing we could possibly do. Set font, tur, V, I think it's 28 actually. Yeah. You guys gotta see what I'm doing. So then when I screw stuff up, you can go, oh, you messed that up. I might end in it. I think I could definitely end up on Nix because I'm not 100% this is gonna work. I think we'll get there, but I worry we're gonna have some permissions problems here. That's my big issue. We might have some big time permissions issues. Right? That's the worry. MNT, mount dev, NVMe 1, in 1. Let's go P1, MNT boots. Mount dev, NVMe 1, in 1, P3. MNT home. Oh. What did I mess up there? Oh, fat fingered it. All right. LSBLK. Bam. Actually, administrator, that video already exists. I daily drove server 2008 R2 and even used it as a gaming machine. And for about a year on my channel back in 2019, I think I said the greatest Windows gaming machine, and it was using Windows Server 2008 R2. It was fun until it went end of life in 2020. Oh, 2020 ruined everything. All right, let's do Arch chroot mnt. Yes. Now we look at grub install. We should be able to just go grub install EFI directory equals boot. Done. Installation finished. The one thing I did want to check before we like, hey, we're so awesome. I did want to look at grub CFG. Make sure that make sure our UEFIs are, let's just go less. Oh, all right, fine. Vim, grub CFG. I just want to double check. CCF. Oh, guys, we forgot a step. We forgot a step. Does anybody know what we forgot to do? We forgot to make configuration. Yeah. Oops. Output. Yes. Now, let's look at that grub configuration file again, right? If we look up. Oops. Now, that's still wrong. Why is that wrong? What? This is what it should be. Should start with 118 on that. I forgot. I did it to etc grub. What am I doing? Oh, that's true. Okay. Oh, that is hilarious. Okay, let's make that. I was like, wow. Okay, let's send it. Why did I put it to etc grub? Oh, Friday night problems, huh? Okay, could not load part GPT. We just did this, did we not? Why is this erroring now? It's the grub conf. Oh no, because I messed up default grub. Oh no. Oh. I overwrote default grub. Oh no. That's hilarious. Okay, well. That's fine. That's hilarious. So my yeah, how do we rebuild default grub? No, it can be fixed. It's fine. It's totally fine. Reinstall grub. Copy paste. I agree with Squirrel over there. I think that's the way to roll. Best way to copy paste. Probably from our Timeshift, right? Let's just mount -o. Let's first make directory. We'll call it crap. And then we're going to mount dev md 126 p2 into crap. We're going to cd into crap. Going Timeshift. Snapshots. Coming to snapshots for 16. Localhost. All right. Now from here, the simple thing, just a copy. etc default grub to etc default grub. All right. Perfect. So now we grub, make config, output, boot, grub config. Hey, there we go. So now when we go with a Vim, we should have updated UUIDs. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful UUIDs. That's what we need. Glorious. Do we need to reinstall Grub? I don't think so. I think we're good. So now we just exit that, umount all, and reboot. And now we have our system completely restored. It only took us 2 hours and 15 minutes. FML. Okay. Here we go. Was all that work to restore worth it? Here we go. Now we just simply wait. And that's the end of distro hopping. We got Linux booting. Linux. Here we go. Will it work? Looks pretty good. I'm home. Oh, boy. Look at that. It's alive. Look at that beautiful NeoFetch. We have returned. Home sweet home, old DWM. 32 cores of awesome. Or is it 16 cores? I don't know. Something like that. It's a lot. More than I'll ever use. All right. Does things still work though? The one thing I'm like, it didn't set my background. Okay, that looks good. Oh, I wanted to try out the new DWM mix. I feel like we should do an update though. All right, now we updated it. Let's break it again. All right, here we go. Let's just do a system update. Now we got it somewhat working. All right. Yeah. I mean, last update went so well. Why not just update again? Although this is not that many packages, only 100 packages, which when it comes to an Arch update, that's kind of like, meh. That's not much. I do have a bunch of Wayland garbage on here, though. I feel like purging that after this last run-in. Yeah, it's 32 threads, 16 core. It is 16 full cores using Xeons, though. Or a Xeon processor. So none of those cheapo efficiency core nonsense. I don't know. It's not the odds of looking at NICs today are not in your favor. But we still have to check to see how is our pass-through going. That's another thing. Yeah, we do need to do fast fetch. I agree. It's a bit faster. Neo fetch is a bit on the bloated side for sure. All right. I forgot what I needed. Was I using DKMS? Oh no, I think I was for the pass-through. It's like, why am I getting DKMS? Arch Silver Blue. Is that a thing? No, I don't think so. I think we're going to be getting more of the... I would love to see the Atomic desktops enter the Arch realm, though. That would be awesome. Well, I mean, when you look at what Steam's done, it's pretty much Atomic desktops in Arch. It's immutable and it's an Arch-based system. So Steam does it. I wasn't paying attention. What am I updating now? What the hell is requiring 255 crates? Ah, typical Arch user, just hit and update all. Spray and pray kind of situation here. All right. Was it Zed? Oh, crap. It was Zed. Remind me to uninstall that. No. This was LACT. No, we're good. We're good. It wasn't Zed. Yeah, I was just like, next. I want to update some stuff. Like, yep, go for it. Go for it, Arch. I trust you. Did not learn anything from yesterday. Yeah. Zed was on DistroBox, though. Yeah, you guys are right. It always seems like the person that, well, you know, there are some Arch users that are like tried and true Arch users, though. I think Arch is where a lot of power users end up kind of stopping. Also Arch, and I'm dead. And that wasn't a bad idea. Shouldn't have done that update. But if you're using Arch properly with Timeshift, and you got like downgrade, and you are a savvy user and not just blindly updating everything and using 50 AUR packages, you'll be fine. Having said that, everything I just laid out, most users do. It's like a rite of passage. It's just something every new Linux user does. They get on an Arch-based distro, whether it's Garuda or Manjaro, any of Arch-based distros, they end up installing a bunch of stuff through the AUR, and then their system blows up spectacularly, usually within 30 days. It's just what we do. But if you're using Timeshift, I think you should be able to get back. The fact this worked with just an rsync and me changing all my UUIDs around is kind of insane. I really kind of expected this to blow up. The Arch gods are with me tonight, boys. It just are. Look at that. And girls out there. Yeah, this worked insanely good. LACT's for AMD tweaks, by the way, if anybody's wondering what that is. Jessica, Manjaro blew up on me without doing anything. That sounds like a rite of passageway of Manjaro, though. My Manjaro kind of did the same thing. What was it, back when I was starting out? I only did Manjaro, was it 2019? So it's been over 5 years since I've tried Manjaro. But I remember that happening to me. And I was like, I had like this progression of, I'm on Manjaro. Everything's great. Manjaro's awesome. And then, bam, update broke my entire system. Disaster on update. All from Manjaro. It was pretty funny. I remember getting flamed so bad from the Manjaro people. But it was hilarious because all I did was just like what I did just now. It was like an SYU, but the dev specifically said from Manjaro, don't do an SYU on this specific update because you have to do, I think it was like a SYYU, or there was some special Pac-Man update that you needed to do to push a version a certain way. It was just a different from a system update. And if you didn't do it that way, it would just brick your system. And I was like, well, that's just stupid. Jennifer was like, and you're gone. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Pomac. Yeah. That's funny, though. Yeah. It was SYYUU or something like that. It was hilarious. And if you didn't do that exact combination, it was disaster. But, you know, Arch has been pretty good. I usually have like 1 or 2 packages that end up breaking in Arch. Like the last couple times I've switched off Arch, it's been not Arch's fault. It's been Brave. I remember one time Brave's had a recent update in Arch and it just broke Brave for whatever reason. And I was like, ah, crap. Okay. Speaking of which, my Thorium browser's updating. We'll see if that works. And it broke that specific browser. And it just, my Brave would constantly crash or it was running slow. And I was like, oh, it was just a bad update on Brave. So then I could do a downgrade. But then I constantly wanted to be on that latest version. It just bothered me that update didn't work. And if I would have just waited like a couple weeks, it would have been fine. But I was like, nah, all right. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of thing too. Think of it, a lot of people critique the distro hopping, or you do an update and it might break things in Arch or Linux, just in Linux in general. But you got to remember, there's plenty of times where this is true in Mac and Windows. It still happens with both counterparts, albeit I think Windows more than Mac. I think the biggest update I've seen where it would just break things in Mac is when it does huge things like during Catalina when it removed all 32-bit libraries. It was just like, hey, if you're a Mac user, you don't game. We're just going to get rid of all Steam compatibility and just flush all the 32-bit libraries. And people are like, WTF, Apple? And they're like, yeah, I know. It breaks a bunch of stuff, but we're Apple. And you should be using Metal if you're a real developer. And developers are like, okay, yeah, no. If it's a game, it's just not going to work on Mac. So, you know. And then Windows, I don't have to say anything about. Everybody that's used Windows has a bad experience with Windows Update. I don't think there's much of a sell there. Oh yeah, if you're running Hackintosh, then every update will break it. Oh man. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I agree with that, GFY. You get less breaking when you make certain things read-only and not read-write. That's the difference between vets and seasoned vets. Yeah, I agree with that statement. And that's kind of why I think with a lot of the future of desktop environments, a lot of it will be not able to touch like a lot of the system files. Doing like an atomic desktop or an immutable file system, I think there's a lot of future there for everyday users. Ooh, man, that Xeon is firing up now. Yeah, I do. I think I probably need to prune some of this, huh? Let's do a query after this is done in it and take a peek at what kind of packages I'm rocking here. But I love the idea of immutable. I think that will be the future because... Oh, can I say this? Yeah, I can say this. There's one Linux desktop distro that I have run the longest out of any other in history, and it's immutable. SteamOS. My Steam Deck, I really, after tinkering with it and loading custom images, I've rocked that pretty much since the day it released. And I haven't... Well, no. Yeah, I haven't reloaded it. I broke it, but then I did a force update and it would just fix itself because it's immutable. So yeah, I haven't really completely wiped it out. So there you go. It's been the one thing that you just, nothing can kill it. Having said that, I think I will load Bazite on it though. I really like the tinkerability, so I don't like that fact. That's why I was like hesitant to say it. I was like, ooh, oh, that is right. I haven't really reloaded it. I think it's time to reload it. I think I'm gonna put Bazite on it. But the Valve distro on the Steam Deck, because they control the hardware, they control the distro, there's not much to break. It just works. So I think when we see like an immutable Arch distro, I really love that idea. Like Debian's already pretty stable, and you don't have to worry about updates nearly as much on like a Debian stable release. Arch you do, but if it was immutable and it was set up like Atomic desktops, you get the best of all the worlds. You get the latest of everything, and when inevitably that update screws up, you can just flash back or do a rollback like we did on Bazite when that last update broke on us. So that's kind of awesome. Yeah, and it only broke because of my home luggage. That's true, Dammy. I should say that as well. Because of that massive cache folder, because I didn't want to relog into everything. So that is a true. All right, let's do a git pull. I did have a whole bunch of changes in my DWM I kind of wanted to try out. Somebody did a bunch of commits bringing us to DWM 6.5. I think it was a DWM dev because he made some like refresh rate changes and other things from DWM. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. How would an immutable Arch even work? Well, SteamOS did it. It's already been done. It's not a question of can you do it? It's a question of who else is going to do it. SteamOS is an immutable Arch-based distro. That's what SteamOS is. Facts. So yeah, you can't say it can't be done. Shit, it's already been done for like years now. And it works great. All right. Yeah, well, I did a bunch of resizing patches, so I don't mind that. Does this make, though? Make. Nothing to be done for all. What? Oh. Yeah, the make file changed. I'm used to doing like a make all. We could do like a make install, but okay. Ah. Is there help? Okay, now. Make all? Make install? Huh. I think I gotta make it though. Why? Make file changed. Let me take a look at the commits. So let's take a peek. All right, yeah. 1 second. I don't know what was on here. I'm gonna hit restore. It was like, I don't remember what was on my PC. Before I just manually restore this, let's see what all I had on here. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I was just seeing if everything logged off too. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Nice, okay, we're good. I think my GitHub did sign out though. So we're good. chmod 777. No. Don't do that. Oh. That's funny. It's just make. Yeah. So before you could just do make, but what happened is the make file changed from a commit. And if we look at the commit, let me see. If we look at the commit here, we'll see what happened. Let's go GitHub. Christitis Tech. Oh, check out my new profile on GitHub. Spent way too long on it, but I'm proud of it. It looks super cool. Like my activity. Let's zoom in. Enhance. All right. My GitHub profile. I'm so happy. I'm currently on a 22-day streak. Best streak's 33 days in a row. Projects activity. I've been programming the most in WinUtil. Language activity, PowerShell. It is a language. Janky, nonetheless. 10% in C, Lua, Bash, C#. And then we got WinUtil, website, unknown project. That's my secret project. And then DWM Titus. Jessica, thanks for the resub. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think sudo make clean install would probably be the way to go. Let's just go repositories because I am curious to see what happened to our repo. And I want to look at the last commits. Oh, we actually have an outstanding pull request as well. So this guy, Fezzo's been committing stuff that's been super interesting. And I've been like, I need to pull that. So he added a refresh rate. That was cool. I was like, ooh, okay, refresh rate. So we're adding that to DWM. And I was like, that's a neat commit. I like that. So I just merged it. I know I should like review this a little bit more, but I was like, oh, I got so excited about some of these commits. I was like, I'm going to make that work. If it doesn't work, I'll make it. Refine code formatting and enhance tag focus logic. I thought this was really interesting. And how this changed around. I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. And I was like, that looks neat. Oh, well, he's just fixing some indents here. So that's not change. Extern. I actually made that change locally because of some of the changes I made in the last time I did a commit. And I think somewhere in here, he did the make file. Which, frankly, we could just go to the root, make file. And so this is what's new. And let's see, sudo make clean install. I don't think that'll do it though. Will it? Never mind. Yeah. So anyways, we used to just do a make and then do a sudo make install. Now you just do sudo make clean install and then it cleans it and then does the install. Or you could probably just do sudo make install. And that would also probably work as well. Because it'll rebuild on make. If we look at the code, if you go to make, clean is just removing the old tar. The clean is going through and doing a copy of your license and everything over into that. Tarring it up, gzipping it. Okay. And then the install does make directory, install. Where's the compile happening though? Obviously, still a lot to learn on my side. Anywho, it did build. That is definitely building there. So let's kill this, relaunch, and see what happens. To kill DWM, I think it's like... Oh, heck. Vim config. What was it? Oh, it's just sudo shift q. Okay. So sudo shift q. Peter, thanks for the sub. Oh, config.mk has some options. Okay, thank you, Grumble. Me being a noob. All right. We're on DWM 6. Dang! That actually launched a lot faster, too. Yeah, Fezzo. That guy's got some skills. Whoever that contributor is. Did he do another? He did another one. Doing a massive refactor here. Let's see what we got. All right, let me sign into my GitHub. 1 second. We're going to do a live pull request. Pull in Fezzo's changes. Okay, select that. Oh, okay, we're good. Sometimes it shows your IP on GitHub when you log in. I'm like, I don't like that. I've doxed myself way too many times. I want to sell your refresh rates. I know, I know. Oh, my refresh rate. Yes. Let's see what we got. So he's got that. Enable knob order. Okay. And then it looks like he's switching a lot of stuff around. Got this. Changing that. We still got sysbar pinning, tray. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he looks like he's adding some border colors, which is interesting. What's happening to... Oh, he still's got that. No, okay. We're still good. Nothing changed. Switching some of the variables around from like color gray, color. This is supposed to be pulling in this right here, and he's just changing it to make more sense. So we have that. Looks like some spacing changes here. Normally I would just deny these types of things, but I really like the last 4 or 5 PRs. So anytime someone makes like massive changes like this, I usually always deny the PR. But I'm just looking through and I'm like, there's nothing really here I really care about so far. The no border is an interesting addition that he's making to DWMC. So I was like, okay. Doesn't look like much change there though. All that is perfectly fine. Not a very big commit. So of course that's an easy approval for me. Yeah, it ends up being about 100 lines of code to review. It's when someone like does a submit and they did like a pretty or some kind of extension and it ends up being 1,000 lines of code. You're like, what are you doing? 1,000 lines of code? You expect me to look at that? But this is all good. Looks great. All right. I like it. Merge that in. Pull it down. Gravy. So now we're on DWM 6.5. Pull that. Let's just refactor. Do one last rebuild. We're done with DWM. And also our background just suddenly started working, if you all noticed that. All right. Like it. Sudo make clean install. I don't even think we need to do the clean install. Let's just do sudo make install. Well, actually, I think you do have to do the clean install. Yeah. It doesn't recompile. It doesn't look like it does the make without doing the clean first. Ah, that's okay, though. Kind of forces you to clear out the directory. I like it. So now we have that. Everything's good. We can just quit. Quit. Oh, man, I missed DWM. I didn't realize how much I missed it till I like left and came back. Oh, that's a... Gotta change my fill. Anyhow. All right, cool. Now we gotta check our Windows instance, right? All right, Windows is running. Any clue to how I know Windows is running? Oh, yeah, the resizing. Let's resize. Probably the easiest way is let's do floating probably. So you have your floating window and Let's say, what was the key? I had, was it Shift? I don't resize Windows very often. What was it? Oh, heck. Oh, man, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I know this works great. Let's let's just Z over to DWM. What is, look, I want to show the resizing. Someone wanted to see the resizing, and I did a bunch of resize patches just to make it easy. And then I forgot the hotkeys. It's super easy, I swear. Trust me, bro. Okay. yeah, the amount of RAM, obviously. If it's 1 gig, I'm like, I need to start Windows. If it's 18 gigs, I'm like, yeah, there we go. Windows is gone. All right, for my resize command, what was I using? I want to say it was it as simple as a, I thought it was like, oh, that's right. That's what I did. It's just a super mod key and right click. So yeah. So you have this, let's just launch a couple of these. Let's float them. And so you have this and you can just take it, resize and be like, all right, cool. Let's grab that guy, resize that. And then, you know, go to town. Neo fetch. Come on over here, C matrix. Oh, I don't have C matrix. That's just a damn shame. I gotta fix that. C matrix. Yeah. Let's not put that where that window is, right? Just come that over. C matrix. Asynchronous. Yeah. Then we got this one. Let's just come over here. Launch my browser, come back. Yeah, there we go. Bring it in, and then I can just stoop. Let's say we got this one. Let's bring it over a little bit. Yeah. Perfection. Yes. So anyways, that's it was a patch I got for right click. So you just hold the mod key and then you just right click anywhere on the window. You can grab the window with like just mod key and then left click, and then you just mod key and then right click to change the window size and kind of move it wherever you want it to go. So that's the idea. And I think DWM, the next thing I want to really do with DWM too is integrate like a really powerful sys tray, but not like junk it up like most Linux RICEs do. I really want that to work a lot more seamless. Did I not build it? Uh-oh. I thought I did. No, I had to pull it because there was changes, right? And it says I didn't. He was right. I didn't. Alrighty. Now we can try it. My bad. Should be up to date, right? Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Alright, let's quit. Half of chat was saying this, but sure. All right, fair enough. Neo fetch. Man, that is clean though. This, man, I dig it. That is fast. I think there was an inefficiency in 6.3 that I was using because I am noticing this be considerably more snappy. What about my Windows instance? Ooh, did I screw up Looking Glass? Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Alrighty. What happened here? Crud. All right, let's go virtual machine manager. Yeah, I mean, everything's working really nice. The beauty of doing this type of setup is everything's just one binary. The whole DWM, there's no configuration. It takes that configuration, binds it all into one binary, DWM, and that's it. That's so cool. So when you think of something like KDE or GNOME or Mate or pick any desktop environment, you're talking about hundreds of binaries. It is so massive. And when you go into something like this, it's one. That is crazy to me. And it's super neat where there's not like this crazy setup. There's really just the main binaries that you just build that one binary, but it all comes from that one. So I want to expand that out and add like DWM blocks or a variation of it, probably something a little more simplistic than DWM blocks. And I'll probably pull that directly into the DWM binary because I don't want two binaries. I just want to keep the one. So I'm just going to keep building that DWM exactly how I want it. And I like, it's just exciting. That's just my thought. Looking Glass is in the wrong place. FS tab. Let's see. Well, I wanted to check the XAML file real fast. Let's just take this, push this over here. What were we doing? Probably at the end of it was the, where's this supposed to go? So we got the IVSH MIM plane. Let's take a look. And say Looking Glass. Well, actually, so you say Awesome Double Window Manager. Awesome Window Manager is DWM. What they did, the Awesome Dev did, was they took DWM, forked it, and then added Lua configurations on top of it. So Awesome Window Manager is DWM. Kind of wild when you think about it. Yeah, KDE is, the problem is there's a lot of things KDE does I don't necessarily agree with. Yeah, I think Qtile is also a fork. It's kind of cool because, I mean, it's just, DWM's just so hackable. It's like, hell yeah. So, where is this file? I think I'm going to increase this to 128 as well, just so when 4K does get picked up, it'll be fine. Dev shim Looking Glass is where it should be. Let's do ls dev shim. Ooh. Nothing there. Touch. Dev shim Looking. Well, actually, Looking Glass. Yeah. And let's do another ls. It wants, what was it, 660 for the mod? Yeah, it wants 660. So let's just do a sudo chmod 660 dev shim Looking Glass. Now if we look at it again, now we have the 660. And I kind of want to see this as well. I think that's already there and we don't need to touch it. I think it would just needed the file creation. So let's just do a cat. Yeah, that's what I thought. So now, come on over to here, right? We go Looking Glass client. Progress, right? Failed to map memory because if you look at this, it's already running. So when it runs, it should go ahead and attach to that Looking Glass shim file. So when the frames get copied from memory, it should copy into Looking Glass, and then we can pull from that shim file and then display it on our screen without having to do any kind of anything else, which would be pretty sweet. You said shut down, right? Let's see if it registers. Yeah, well, it's a suckless philosophy too. Like there's a, like if you look at all of the suckless code, like DWM, ST, a lot of those, it just, the whole philosophy they have is do one thing and do it well. And I love that philosophy. There's so much in the computing world where they just try and do too much. And that's the thing about a lot of suckless software, which honestly, I'm terrible at doing. I usually am like, well, I want this and I want that. I'm going to just pull that in and this. And they have been just so laser focused and go, no, we're just going to do the one thing and we're going to do it extremely well. And that's awesome. All right. This is done. We should be able to launch it. Well, did we do a reboot after our update? Ah, well, time for Nix. I don't think we rebooted after the last update. I think we just did a log out. So, all right. Yeah. So it's been 42 minutes since the last update. Yeah, we just did a log out. So we need to reboot. I did a big system update. We changed the... I kind of want to build my own Linux kernel next. Now that we got everything fixed, I think we should change it from mainline kernel to... Maybe we go... I mean, like Bazite's F-Sync kernel, I was really impressed with. One, I didn't have any problems in launching it at Helldivers. And that was pretty cool. Zanmod's an option. I'm not a huge fan of Zanmod, and I'm not a big fan of Zen, which the Arch Linux is. They keep that up in the official repos as the Zen Linux kernel mod. I almost kind of want to build my own at that point. Can you make a ricing tutorial for a window manager for beginners? Ooh. Yeah, probably should do something like that. And the real question, will Arch survive the reboot? Yeah, that is the real question. TKG, does TKG keep it up? Oh, I think we will have to probably do something in that nature. I definitely gonna have to revisit Nix for sure. Hello, Brazil. That's okay. It's just a couple red messages. And it's just temp and Timeshift. I'm sure it's nothing. Everybody's like, oh damn, here we go again. I need to get that. I need to load up like an emulator with Grand Theft Auto and then just make an entire sequence of that. Oh shit, here we go again. It's already going wrong and all I did was reboot. Well, I did a system update and reboot, but still. Yeah, I think building the kernel would be kind of fun. What are we doing here? Failed to send watchdog notification message. You know what? Next week we should do. We get in system CTL. Hear me out. Hear me out. We change systemd timeout from a 90 seconds to 5 seconds. I like that idea. I freaking hate the 90-second default timeout from system CTL. I think that would be a legit... Because there's nothing worse. Like sitting here staring at your screen, obviously whatever service is running in the background, it's going to time out. We just got to wait a full 90 seconds for that timeout to happen. You're like, okay, timed out, issuing sig kill. That'll take like another 5 seconds. Then it'll go into the next service. And then it's just going to sit there and grind for another 90 seconds. And then it'll finally go, oh, I'm dead. And then if there's another service, then it's another 90 seconds. I think it just doesn't make much sense, the default being 90 seconds. It either shuts down gracefully or it doesn't. Giving it another 10 seconds, I don't think is going to change much. 90% of the time. Well, more like 85% of the time. But still, I'm impatient. Let's just change the init system. Well, actually, I had an article wrote up to change the init system from systemd. Oh, CM Griffin, thanks for the raid, man. It coulda. Yeah, we did do a lot of writes. You know, when you see something like this, task SD sync 63,788 blocks for more than 122 seconds, not tainted, 6.8.5 arch. Say what? Hey, there we go. Thanks for the sub, Just trying. Can I install Arch Dual Boot with Windows 11? Absolutely, Tom. That's what I've been rocking for a long time, man. Yeah, I think Run It is another one. I like OpenRC probably the best. I'm most familiar with OpenRC because... Not Arctic's. What's that system you use everywhere in business in containers? Super small, super fast. It's literally what Alpine. Yeah, Alpine. Yeah, that's what Alpine uses. Oh, I got you. I beat chat. I beat chat on that. Well, it doesn't have to be a sacrifice. I think it just needed a little bit of a redo on the update here. Oh man, I love Nix. Nix is so good, Sam. It's awesome. I have a repo, my Nix OS configuration that a lot of people use, but I need to boot back into it. It's been 3 or 4 months since I've been on Nix. It's a lie. All right. Right now we're testing PCI Passthrough from Windows. The system, which we've successfully restored today, we had wiped out our entire partition table and we had to do an emergency restoration from like an old RAID drive, but we couldn't use Timeshift for it, but we could use the files from Timeshift. It does look like that was actually successful. Surprisingly so. I didn't think that would actually work, but it did. So we got Windows 11. This is starting up on any time the system starts. It'll fire up. Takes a little bit, but it does look like it's starting this time around. And I think I'm just gonna launch right in with my hotkey. We're just gonna go right over to Workstation 4 here, the little cog. We're just gonna go Windows W once this flatlines a little bit. Oh, thanks, man. I got it. I bought one of those Amaran. I think it's the Amaran 100 lights, because Amaran usually the lighting's usually like $1,000, but they started making a more residential line, and it's only like $100. It was on sale on B&H. I picked up one of those guys, mounted it up here, and it's kind of a pretty tall mount. It's probably 60% up, so it's a hell of a do. But I almost thought about bringing it over more. I could just swing it over a little bit more. Get real dynamic. That's a little too much. But, yeah. Amaranth. Sorry. Freudian slip there. All right, here we go. Let's launch Looking Glass. Oh. Yeah. Alrighty. Here we go. Now we're ready to have your minds blown. NeoFetch, Windows 11. Arch Linux, Windows 11. Oh no, not as cool as I thought on the switchback there. It kind of hits the start menu when I hit my hotkey. It's pretty cool though. Pretty cool. And we can play games on here too. It is pass-through GPU. Only a 1660 now because I needed my 2060 somewhere else. But still very nice. Yes. Glorious. It works, guys. I know all the Nix people in the crowd are just super disappointed that this actually worked. In your defense, I really didn't think it would. Let's just kill that. Did I kill that? Oh, yeah. Let's just shift that over to here. So the big thing is the system timeout, right? We need to switch that. We don't want a long shutdown. That was kind of lame. Also, our boot time's kind of crazy too. Let's look at system D blame, right? Let's go analyze. And I think we can just do -- blame. Maybe it's just blame. No. Blame. Yeah, there we go. I gotta fix my network start. That's the worst. 34 seconds. It's dying. So my system's waiting for startup. I think it's doing it because of my NFS shares and how it waits. Well, you're welcome. I try to make Windows as stable as possible. Yeah. Check out the star system prompt. Okay, let's do that. Pimp out that too. We can do that. No. Let's get it. We'll end it on the starship. Well, is this one actually given? Oh yeah. I think you were taking a look at it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I also need to modify my haste bin. This is my haste bin. I can just spit any file directly to anybody in chat. I love using this, but I need to modify it for bash RC. So we still have to do like a bash RC. Probably won't do it on this stream. I just wanted to see this. All right, so we got Starship. What are we doing here? We got directory. I don't know about using the language I don't really care about. Docker container and then line break. Okay. That's fine. Before we go any further though, let's go Z my bash. Oh, I don't Let's just copy. Oh, I think it's Still working with this keyboard, driving me crazy. It is the same file, huh? Is that bash RC linked? I think it's sim linked. It is. Oh, all right. I don't want to pull down these files. I want to actually change this file. Let's just copy bash RC to old.bash. RC. And the reason why I'm doing that is once I actually change this, it's going to cause all kinds of problems for me. Although I don't even need to change that right now. So I We'll grab this guy. Let's check out your starship. And I still need to learn to use Zoxide. I still use CD. Just old habits die hard. I tell you. Oh, that's actually in Toml too. Well, never mind. Let's copy Starship to old Starship. So now we have old bash RC old Starship. Let's vim Starship. Ooh, fat fingered that one actually. Oops. Let's just remove Starship. All right, vim starship dot toml. All right, this is your theme. Let's see how it goes. I think we have to do a poll, right? Oh yeah, alias CD to Z. That's smart. I don't know, guys. I like this a lot with the coloring. What are our thoughts here? Do you like the old, more subtle Nord theme, which honestly, this needs to be removed for the time. I think it's a little bit redundant to have the time here. Although I don't have a time up here yet, but I will. Too bright. Old. Oh, in it, it's not looking good. Chat's rebelling. They think it's too colorful. And mine does match DWM. Old is better. You just wanted me to look at it. Yeah, I like it though. I can totally see that if that was like your more theme. Obviously for me, I'm a little more subtle. The bright themes are a bit much for me, but I like it. Old Starship to new Starship. Override, yes. That's pretty cool though. New with old colors. Yeah, I think he does a better job with that because it's a bit redundant with my username. I like the icons. So I think you could take a little bit from both and probably dump the time as well. Although I don't have time up there. I probably will eventually dump the time once I throw it in my task tray. I just haven't yet. Add more colors despite the haters. Yeah. Yeah, we'll work on that some more. See, I'm a sucker for Nord. Anything with Nord, I'm like, yep, sign me up. I like just the nice, chill gradients where you're just like, that's just peaceful. I love it. I'm home. All right, well, that's where we're going to end this stream. It could not end on a better note. It's just my old setup. It feels good. We've been working on it. A lot of those new updates going to DWM 6.5 and Fezzo coming through with the DWM. This looks really good. Like getting rid of a lot of the stuff. I just really dig it. Having to be able to kind of toss these things everywhere. Like you have NeoFetch, but you can just be like, yeah, I'm going to just toss that over here. Yeah, I'll take it over there. You know? Love it. It just feels good. Clean. Everything just works exactly the way I want it. No extra bloat. And I'm going to work on it more. Now, there was a lot of talk about NICs on this stream and loading NICs up. I think whatever system I go to, I have to take this with me. I really, really love DWM, which can be problematic because a lot more systems will be killing Xorg. And DWM absolutely requires Xorg. And that could be an issue. So that's something I'm going to watch out for. Bazzite, fantastic distribution. Loved it. I do think that's a huge spot. Keeping it on my home theater PC. I think I'm going to flash my Steam Deck with Bazzite because I did enjoy my time in there, and it's just designed around that gaming audience. And for me, for my desktop, I just really like the minimal tiling DWM on Xorg. But I'm not like a hardcore gamer, so it does make sense. I get it. But all right, guys, we're going to shut it down for the day. That was one heck of a stream. I loved every minute of it. Having everything work out was kind of wild. I really didn't think that Restore would work. I didn't think it would come back as easily as it did, and us to get everything back in this working order is kind of insane. So yeah, we can finish on that. Radio Man Channel asks, what do you think about Flatpak? Flatpak is amazing. You should be using it. It's great. If you're using snaps, what are you doing? Really, seriously, you need to reevaluate your life. Use Flatpak instead. Do you just hate yourself? You should see counseling if you're a Snap user. If you're a Snap user in 2024, yeah, get help. It's out there. Just use Snap Flatpak like the rest of the world. I know, unless you work for Canonical and you're forced to use it. Totally understand in that way. But for the rest of the world out there that's still messing around. All right. We're gonna end on that note. Peace all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys probably next Tuesday, and we'll jump into probably Bash RC. I don't know. I do need to get back into my Windows programming, getting some C# done. I know that's not like a huge one that people like me to do, but I think I really do need to get back on that. I just it's easy to push off because it's just so fun distro hopping. But we could also load up a new fresh VM with NixOS. We'll see what I'm feeling. Deuces.